So much life advice is bullshit. Never compare yourself to others, always tell the truth, go and find your passion. 17-year-old life coaches and cringy spiritual influencers shove these generic lines down our throats and we just gobble them up like IKEA meatballs. Why? Because they give us certainty, and certainty feels good. This is the way, we think. This is the solution. Unfortunately, things are very rarely so simple. Life is never black and white, and answers usually seem to lie in the balance between two contradictory pieces of advice. The problem is that life is too complex. It's too murky to be nailed down in a couple of cheesy lines. Life is lived between these extremes, and no one can tell you what that balance is for you. So, I'm going to play the other side for you. I'm going to make the case against generic advice so that you can decide where you want to sit on the slider of life. Let's dive in. Number 1, you should compare yourself to others. I'm not saying that you should look at that 19-year-old TikTok millionaire in his Lambo and then beat yourself up for being 28 years old in a Camry. I'm just saying that sometimes it's really helpful to see what's working for other people and steal it. There's a lot of advice going around of, oh, you only compete against who you were yesterday.
Who's your hero? I said, I thought about it. You know who it is? I said, it's me in 10 years.
And that's great, that's super helpful and it totally has a place. But also, if you're only looking in here at what you're doing, you're missing out on what you could learn from all the competition around you. So here are my rules for comparing myself with others. 1, do it without judgment. Way easier said than done, but you gotta try and keep your ego out of it. If we're feeling behind in life, it's so easy to look at someone killing it and just think, oh my god, they're so much better than me, I'm a piece of shit, I could never do that. And let me tell you, that is not gonna help you. Instead, I try to say, okay, what is this person doing that I'm not doing? Or even better, what is this person not doing that I continue to do? And can I take any of that and make it work for me? Number 2, only when I have a goal in mind. Scrolling through supermodels for hours is not healthy comparison. Comparison is only really useful when you're looking for a solution to a specific problem that you're working on. Number 3, acknowledge tunnel vision. So cringe. The trap of comparison is that we tend to take one tiny part of a person's life, see that they're doing better than us in that area, and then tell ourselves that they are a better person than us. So my rule here is to remind myself that I'm only seeing a tiny little slice of this person's life, and I'm comparing that only to a tiny little slice of my life. Wow, yeah, literally slices of life. See, I'm generic too. Number 2, you should totally lie. Imagine a mother talking to her child and saying, come and sit down, honey. Listen, Jordan Peterson told me to always tell the truth, so I just wanted to let you know that no, Santa Claus is not real, and I haven't had an orgasm with your father in 4 years. Contrary to popular belief, lying is sometimes definitely the best action. I try my best to be a really authentic person, but sometimes it's easier to just tell someone you're busy rather than saying, no, I don't really know you, I don't really like you, and I'd rather be playing Zelda alone than meeting you for coffee. Here are my rules for lying. 1, not with close friends. My inner circle deserves the truth even if it's uncomfortable, because we're building a long-term relationship. But if it's just some guy that slid into your DMs, then feel free to white lie your way out of it. 2, to protect someone's feelings. I totally lied about that last point. If I see a close friend in a terrible play and they ask me what I thought, I'm gonna find one genuine compliment and leave it at that. It's not exactly lying, but I'm omitting certain truths for the sake of the relationship. Because who needs that negative energy? 3, for jobs. I say go to town. If I need to lie on a resume to get an application over the line, I will absolutely do it. I intend to do a great job. I'm gonna work my ass off. But if they think I've got 1 to 3 years experience, they have got another thing coming. Number 3, stop taking so much care of yourself. Self-care is super in right now. We're all supposed to meditate for 40 minutes and then gratitude journal with a crystal quartz pen before running through 50 affirmations while cleansing our assholes with kombucha enemas. And then you can start your day. Don't get me wrong, self-care is critical to living a happy, productive, fulfilling life. However, I see a lot of people using self-care as an excuse to avoid difficult but important work. So here are my rules for self-care. Number 1, work first. First thing in the morning, I try to immediately get to doing 1 to 2 hours of deep, focused work. I immediately target the task that I am looking forward to the least, so that once I knock it off, I'm just killing my day. And then after that, I get to my morning routine. Number 2, ask yourself, is this fulfilling or is this procrastination? We're masters of tricking ourselves. Sometimes I'll go to the gym and I'll be patting myself on the back for my discipline, but there's this little voice in the back of my head that knows I was only going to the gym to avoid doing something that was more difficult but more important. I try to listen to that voice, and when I'm procrastinating, take action. Number 3, addictions don't count. Scrolling through TikTok is not self-care. Vaping is not self-care. A triple Bondi burger fillet fucking meal from Maporto is not self-care. That is cheap dopamine, and you know the difference. Number 4, stop looking for your passion. This is a very controversial one, but I found it very helpful in my own life. It's such a prevalent message in our society that you got to go and find your passion. That one thing that's going to unlock everything for you, and work will never feel like a chore, and you'll just be in the flow state 24/7, 365. And that is unrealistic bullshit. So let's get into why you should stop looking for your passion. 2 reasons. Number 1, we have multiple passions. The idea that there's this one perfect fit for you is ridiculous. Our interests change over time. There's a great article from Stanford University titled, "Instead of finding your passion, try developing it," which says, the idea that passions are found fully formed implies that the number of interests a person has is limited. That can cause people to narrow their focus and neglect other areas. So focusing on a singular passion can cause us to miss opportunities to develop new interests, which leads me to the second reason. Passions are built over time, not found. I don't think you find the one thing you're meant to do. It instead feels like you develop passion through the work itself. Cal Newport summarized this idea really well in his book, So Good They Can't Ignore You. Stop worrying about what your job offers you, and instead worry about what you're offering the world. This mindset, which I call the craftsman mindset, allows you to sidestep the anxious questions generated by the passion hypothesis. Who am I? What do I truly love? And instead, put your head down and focus on becoming valuable. When I read this, it was a massive relief. I just felt like I could drop this passion thing and just choose an interesting direction, follow my curiosity, and a passion would develop over time. I found a great visual for this process by the Twitter user @thecreatorsbp, who made something called the passion wheel. So basically, you choose something that interests you, you take action, and then you practice that thing daily, quantity, and then you build skills and gain competence, you start to get good at it, quality, and then because you start getting good at it, you get motivated because it feels good to be good at something, and those positive feelings of growth and improvement and getting better are the fertile ground from which passion sprouts. Ooh, so poetic. So you begin to love what you do, which makes you want to do more of it. And then you're back in action, and the cycle repeats itself, and it's a self-propagating positive feedback loop. So I say, forget trying to find your passion and just start building one. But hey, I'm just a guy on the internet giving life advice about the dangers of other life advice. So if you're going to take anything away from this video, just make it this. No clever tweet, article, system is ever the perfect answer. Question ideas, including the ones I'm telling you now, and find the balance that works for you. Thank you for watching. See you next time. I'm gonna. Wow, that's really weird. That's. I feel like I'm stuck in a loop. So.